Hey, what's good, everybody? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is definitely an interesting one. Definitely a good one. Hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do. Also, I'll be live on Twitch or Kick whenever this video goes up, so check that out first. Link in the description. Anyway, today's story time is about the strictest dad I've ever met in my life. Now, out of every single person I've dated in my life, this girl that I dated in this story time by far has the strictest parents I've probably ever met. So yeah, enjoy it. So today's story time all takes place when I was 16 years old. Yeah, so I've been dating this girl for about a month. We'll just call her Kelsey, okay? I've been dating Kelsey for about a month, and she went to my school, and our whole month of dating, we kept the relationship pretty secret. We only told a couple of our close friends, didn't really tell anybody else, and that was her request. She didn't want a lot of people to know. I didn't really know why, to be honest. I thought that she was embarrassed of me at first, and I was like, what the fuck? But then, as time went on, she told me. And she told me about 2 or 3 weeks into our relationship that she wanted to keep it secret because her parents, if they found out, would essentially ruin her life. Like, ground her forever, take away everything she owned, like, just would fuck everything up, right? So, yeah, we had to keep our relationship pretty much under wraps and not tell anybody for, the majority of it. But unfortunately, when you keep anything a secret, usually 99.9% of the time, it's going to come out one way or another. And unfortunately, ours did. So, about 1 month into our relationship, I was just on a date with her like we usually would be. She would tell her parents that she was going out with her friends, her girlfriends. I would tell my parents that I was going out with my girlfriend because they didn't care. My parents weren't as strict as hers. And yeah, then we go meet somewhere public and hang out for a little bit, right? So I remember on this day, we had plans to go to a carnival. Yeah, the weather was getting nicer. It was nice outside. There was a festival going on / carnival thing. And me and her decided to go on a date at this carnival. So yeah, like I said, she told her parents she was going out with her girlfriends so that they wouldn't be strict and weird about meeting up with a boy. And yeah, I told my parents I was just meeting up with my girl. And then I met her there, right? So we get there, the first hour or two, nothing out of the ordinary, just a normal carnival, hanging out, playing mini games, riding rides, doing what you do at a carnival, right? Well, then after, when we get sick of it, it was time for her to go home. And it was dark out. It was late. I didn't want her to walk home alone at night. So I was like, hey, let me walk you home. And she was like, I don't know, like, what if my parents see you? And I was like, they won't. Like, I'll walk you to your street. That way, like, I won't even be near your house. I'll just get to your street and watch you get to your house safely from a distance, right? So they don't see me. And she's like, all right, that sounds really good. Because I didn't want her walking home by herself. Because after hours, late at night, some of these carnivals, there's sometimes some sketchy people hanging around, okay? So I didn't want her to, like, walk home alone and get robbed or, like, hurt or something. So, yeah, me and her leave the carnival. We start walking home to her house. We're talking about how much fun we had, how cool the carnival was. We're just, enjoying ourselves, right? And then we get to her street. Now, I stop on the street corner, and I just watch her walk down her street to her house. I see her walk up her driveway and get inside safely. And I think that's it, right? She got in safely. It's time for me to turn around and start walking home. So yeah, I turn around and I start walking home. And I take like 2 steps off her street towards the main road. And I hear behind me, hey, you, stop it. And I turn around and I look and I see this man who I've never even seen before, who probably looks like he's 40, maybe 50 years old, running at me full speed. And he's really, really muscular and scary looking for an older dude. Could definitely beat the shit out of me. And I was like, okay, this guy's running at someone else, right? But then I realized there's no one else around to run at. He's running at me and me only. So I have 2 choices. I start running too, or I stand there like a dumbass like I already am and just take whatever beating from this random man that I'm about to receive. So obviously I pick option 1. I'm not getting my ass beat by a boomer boxer. So I turned around and I started running as fast as I fucking could, right? And I'm running and I'm yelling behind me like, what do you want? Like, I don't have any money, because I thought he was trying to rob me or something. So I don't want your fucking money. What are you doing fucking around with my daughter? And I realized mid-chase who this man was. It was my girlfriend's dad. And somehow, some way, he found out that I walked her home and was hanging out with her at the carnival. And yeah, I was like, no, like, I'm not doing anything with your daughter. Like, we're just hanging out. He's like, bullshit. Stop fucking running. Get over here. And I just kept running. He was on my tail the whole time. We were like yelling back and forth, having a conversation while running. And yeah. Now we end up running all the way back to the carnival. It wasn't that long of a run, but it felt like a fucking eternity. So yeah, we got back to the carnival, and I ended up getting up to the ticket booth, and I stop because there's security right there, and there's also 2 police officers parked right there. So if this dad decides to punch me in the face, he'll go to jail for hitting a 16-year-old, right? I was thinking deep about this. So I stop. Mr. Angry Dad runs up to me, gets all up in my face, starts screaming at me, so much to the point where the police come over and ask what's wrong. And he literally tells the cops, he's like, this little fucking twerp, he's messing around with my daughter behind our backs. And I can't believe he called me a fucking twerp. I haven't heard that insult in like decades, dude. Called me a fucking twerp. So anyway, the cop basically tells him to chill out because this is a public festival and he's causing a scene. And the guy actually listens, the dad. He calms down a little bit, and the cop walks away, goes back to his car, and watches us from the car. And the dad starts talking to me like a kind of civilized human being. He's like, all right, listen, stop talking to my daughter. Don't call her again. Don't even text her again. Don't think about hanging out with her. Don't even look at her in school, okay? Whatever you guys got going on, it's over. Starting now, it's over, okay? You understand that? And I was like, sir, you don't understand. He's like, no, I do understand. You guys lied to us. That's it. And I was like, I'm not lying to you. Like, we haven't done anything wrong. We're just hanging out. He's like, you've lied, and that's wrong enough. And I was like, I haven't lied about anything. My parents know about us dating. Like, it's not my fault she didn't tell you guys. And he goes, yeah, for a good reason. We don't want her dating people like you. I was like, people like me? What does that even mean? And he laughs, and he goes, look at yourself. Look how you're dressed. And I look up and down. I was wearing sneakers, jeans, and a t-shirt, okay? Like, pretty standard clothing for a teenager, okay? Actually, I was pretty nicely dressed compared to some of the kids there, okay? And I can't lie, I accidentally insulted him after this. I said, what's wrong with what I'm wearing? I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Like, didn't you wear this stuff when you were young once upon a time? Like, you're trying to tell me that they didn't have jeans and t-shirts in the 50s and 60s or whenever you were born? And he got really mad, and he's like, how old do you fucking think I am? And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, what I'm wearing should not tell you that I'm a bad kid. And he didn't listen. He just completely blew me off. And he's like, all right, listen, stop talking to my daughter. I'm done. And he turns around and he starts walking away. And as soon as he's out of my line of sight, I pull up on my phone and I look at my text messages. And I see a text from my girlfriend saying, Austin, I'm so sorry. He found out you walked me home. I was 10 minutes late past my curfew, and he ran outside looking for my friends to yell at them for dropping me off home late. And I saw him run at you, and I really hope he didn't hurt you. I'm so sorry. Like, let me know what happened. So I called her before he got home, and I was like, hey, your dad's on the way home now. Just letting you know, he chased me to the carnival. The police were there. They stopped him from, beating the shit out of me. And everything's okay. And she's like, no, it's not okay. Like, I should have told you I had a curfew. Like, it's my fault. It's all my fault. And I was like, no, it's okay. Like, it's really all good. And she goes, yeah, it's really good that the police were there at the carnival because I think he was actually going to hit you. Like, she literally said that when he ran out of the house, he yelled, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. So, yeah, definitely almost got my ass beat. That's not good. Also, I had to hang up with her right after this because, he was on the way home and I didn't want her to get caught talking to me literally a few seconds after he told me to never talk to her again. So yeah, we hung up and I went home and I couldn't talk to her for like weeks besides in school. We could only talk in school because she had no phone after this, no computer, couldn't message on Facebook or whatever. Like, couldn't really talk to her, right? And eventually, like I'd say about a few weeks later, we finally were able to text again. But I had to get a new number to text her. I had to change my phone number, and she had to put me in her phone as, like, some girl name, like fucking Sarah or something, because he blocked my number on her phone and was, like, checking her messages every day and stuff like that. So when we did talk on the phone or on text message, we had to pretend like we were girlfriends. I remember at one point her dad was getting suspicious again that I was, still talking to her. So we had to pretend for, like, 3 days straight that, like, we were texting about gossip and drama. Like, I remember at one point we had a whole conversation about One Direction in her texts because I had to pretend to be a girl. But yeah, guys, unfortunately after this, we ended up breaking up regardless because we could never hang out or like spend any alone time together because her dad would not let her leave the house anymore. Like he would literally check and make sure the people that she said she was hanging with was actually who she's hanging with. And anytime she tried to bring up the idea of like hanging out with a boy, he would just say no. So yeah, all in all, kind of an unhappy ending, but also kind of a happy ending because I didn't get my face punched in by her dad, who was unnecessarily muscular for his age. Motherfucker was built like Rocky, bro. It was ridiculous. So yeah, definitely glad that I avoided that. But yeah, guys, moral of the story is, I don't know, I guess just don't be like 16-year-old Austin sneaking around. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.